Morning, David.
Good morning. How is
Hopefully,
it?
it's going pretty good. Pretty good. Had a
Yes.
great day of rugby yesterday up in Red Deer. So now I'm back.
The land of the red and the deer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was good. It was good. Yeah, my son and his team won third year in a row. They got provincial gold in Tier 2 rugby. So it
Isn't
was
it
really fun.
2 years in a row? That's almost bragging.
Yeah, the game was a little sad though. Yeah, it was like 70-0.
I would
So,
say they won then. Uh,
but today's a special day.
for several reasons.
Yeah. What's one of your
Especially,
reasons?
um, well, uh, it's the Patreon live stream, so that's special.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking
Uh,
of.
it's the last stream of the year.
That's true.
Well,
It's
not
a.
the
I
year.
mean, we
Before summer,
before
right?
summer, but and we may have sporadic, just random streams during the summer. We'll see. But yeah, but
Maybe.
yeah, we'll start up full like regular times in the fall and whatnot. But we
Mm-hmm.
have someone here too. But do we want to
Mm-hmm.
do the thing before we do the thing?
Sure. Do you have the thing, or just want me to push the button?
You can push the button. I'll make you full screen.
Okay. I have the technology.
We want to thank all these wonderful people, Helge at the top, and everyone else. If you want to join us on one of these live streams here, you can join us at patreon.com/3dmakeit, and you can choose one of the tiers, and then you can join us live here on the stream, which a lot of our Patreons do every month. And today we have a certain one here. Dominic, hello. Welcome
Hi
back.
guys. Oh,
Hello,
thank you.
hello. You know,
You
I've said
just
it before, but
disappeared.
it's weird saying hi to people I've been talking to for 5 minutes.
It's true. It's true. But we can't. And it's weird when we can't see your face and you're still a
Hey, I'm
Patreon.
fixing
There
it.
you are.
Sorry, Dominic, I failed. Big
But
fail.
yeah, I was looking through some of the feeds and stuff to just try to see kind of what's coming up and what's new, and my feed that monitors Kira was like spammed with a whole ton of changes and stuff that are coming up in the next, like we're on release candidate 18 for something. It's crazy. All the, or release candidate 8, and all in the last 2 days. So they must have put some of the not so ready stuff in their mainstream because all of a sudden I got a whole bunch of notifications. So looks like they're doing quite a bit of work there and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And they did patch one of the major versions. So 5.7 got a patch, so now it's 5.7.1,
Hey,
which just
Dominic, what do you
it's a
use to slice
bug
with?
fixes.
Are you a Kira person?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so it's relative
Although
to
I'm
Dominic.
I'm seriously considering trying, something like what is it, Orca Slicer or something.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Orca is good. Orca is like, I don't know what's the best way to describe it. It's kind of like if Kira and Prusa had a baby, and
That's awkward. This is a
because
family stream right here.
because
Family.
it has Prusa type features, but it has Kira type terms, kind of thing
Well,
for
I was
the
watching
lingo.
something. I can't remember who did it, but I think Orca has. I think it's Orca that has a new feature where it varies the flow when you've got really
Yep.
short segments.
Yeah, yeah.
That
They
that sounds interesting.
Yeah, a lot of them have that. Oh, we got another person joining. Hold on. Here's Raymond. Hey, Ray.
Hey, how are you?
Good. So yeah, and I've used pretty much all of them. I've been using a lot of bamboo lately, obviously, because bamboo. But David's been using a lot of the new. I think what is it? The Creality. What is it called?
Reality slicer.
Yeah, which is kind of orca bamboo or Prusa slicer
Yeah, like
all
with their
mixed
new
together.
version, it's yeah. Their new version's basically Orca with the skin on it.
Yeah. So I mean that might be one if you because you have a Ender 5. Is that what you have? Yeah. So you,
Ender
that
5
might
and
so
Ender
that might
3. I've got the first generation Ender 3. So, but I
yeah,
don't
but
really.
that might be a good one for you because I think they have those printers in there as well. Do they not, David?
They got other printers, but I don't know if they have those printers. Let me look. Printer.
Because that might be like something that you could try out and see what you think, and then it's still using the Creality one, which kind of jives with your printer. Do you still have the factory boards and stuff in it?
No.
The only printers that
No,
they have
you've
in the new
upgraded
version,
it, silent steppers and
Yeah.
all that jazz.
they only have
Yeah.
the Ender 3 in the new version. They don't
Oh,
have
really?
Yeah, and
Yep. The old version
I've
had
even got the
more.
whole new hot end deal. The
It was great.
the shrouds and all that from what's his name? I don't know.
The Hero
Patreon
stuff.
guy. Yeah. I've
Yeah.
got the Hero.
Yeah. They work
It's
okay.
a really nice deal.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking of and toying with the idea of when I move to Florida, I'm probably gonna bite the bullet and buy probably one of the Creality K series. But a lot can happen between now and then, so don't.
Yeah. No, that's David has the K1C at home. Is that what you have?
Right there. You can see it in frames. Just right here. Right.
It's been damaged by the green screen though, so you can only see part of it.
That's true. Only the corner.
Yeah, I may not move for about 3 or 4 months, which means that Creality will probably come out with at least a dozen new.
Well, the K2 is coming out, so that
Have
could
you seen
affect.
the price on the K2?
No, I
know
have
Ray
not.
probably has, but whoo-wee, that's a expensive printer. The regular price is over $2,000.
Oh, did they release pricing?
Yeah.
When you stop and think about it, though, it's not.
Yeah,
You know
but
what
I
a
don't want to
Bamboo
stop and
X1
think.
cost? A
That's-
Bamboo
that-
X1 costs $1,900.
This
yeah.
is true.
It's
Because
true,
it
and
does
right
have
now
a kit.
it's,
Because it comes with the material management system, right?
Yeah, the CMS.
Yeah.
Oh, their website is driving me bonkers again.
So
But it's more expensive than the Bamboo too, but it's also 350 by 350,
but
right?
but
So-
they're always gonna when they come out with it, they're always gonna ask as much as they can possibly think they can get for it.
Yeah.
And then over time, as the production ramps up, they'll bring it down a bit.
So, like-
I mean, when the K1 series came out, it was pretty expensive, and now you can get quite a good deals on them.
Yeah.
I mean, right now I think you guys have them on sale, don't you, Ray? The
Yeah,
the
they're on
K1Cs?
sale. Yeah, till the
Yeah.
end of the month, I think.
Yeah.
That's, yeah, they're all on sale on Creality's website here too. I mean, so like if you're wanting to get a K2 Plus with the combo, now is your time because it's 12 Canadian, which is like 1,000 or 989 American. Because it's like they're blowing them out at half off.
Well, and then the K1C is what you have. Is that okay? Correct me if I'm wrong. That is the newest
wrong.
evolution of the K series. K1 series is the
Yeah.
K1C. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
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 So, and that one's pretty reasonable. I think it's like what, $700 Canadian or something like that,
On the Crowley
for
website, it's listed
$800.
at 650.
Okay,
So,
yeah, I knew it was in there.
but again, that's like on sale right now. But I still like how they have the K1 Max as an AI 3D printer, but unless you use the cloud stuff, it doesn't really AI very well.
AI, some people, it's just like everything else. It's a marketing term,
But
right?
anyway, yeah, K2's out. It's cheap right now. If you want it, get it now. Meh.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the new Creality slicer is exactly a bamboo slicer. Like I've been opening bamboo projects in there by accident sometimes, and then like all the color stuff comes up, and then you have to be like, ugh, I have to export the STL, not a 3MF. That's another rant, you know. I don't know when you're if you're on. Do you guys use Maker World at all or Make World? Maker
I've
World?
used it a couple times.
So like when you download models from their site, it's all 3MF and it all has the color information in them.
Well, you can choose one that doesn't. But
No.
yeah,
So
a
like
lot of the times yeah,
almost
they
all of
separate them.
them, like even so if you go to download something, almost all of them are like, how do you get the STL models in the link? Here, I will show what I'm talking about to
Sure.
add sense to the situation.
Okay,
Boop.
I'll put you full screen.
So like, look at this pretty butterfly I printed. It's pretty. Now I printed it on a Bamboo Lab, so really what I could do is open it in Studio. But see, there's only like a 3MF,
Yeah,
and
don't
then
you have to do the down arrow though?
that is the down arrow, Greg.
Oh, sorry.
So like the 3MF, but so how do you get STLs? So you have to open it in Bamboo Studios and then export all objects as STL, and then it will separate
Oh,
all the stuff in the print job. And like I won't say every model's that way. Some do have STLs. Let's
right.
see, what about this thing? Actually that's kind of cool.
Yeah, those ones are really cool.
That's kind of neat. But yeah, see how to get STLs. And like that's predominantly
They
what you
they
see on Maker World, and it's because of the bamboo ecosystem.
yeah,
Like
they need to there should be a way to script it or something so that you can have it process it and be able to export a STL.
one, you can use Bamboo Lab again as
No,
the
I know, but you'd think
exporter.
for it'd be a nice feature for all the people that may want to use that site that don't have a bamboo.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I well like and I was printing stuff like from there on the K series, but yeah, I had to use the export. But usually I'm finding this stuff through things, right?
Mhm.
Because I'll search what I want on things, and then all of them show up. It's kind of like Yagi, but not slow and broken.
That's a good.
And it has like a paid tier.
Yeah.
But yeah, like so this kind of like a pet peeve on that site.
So
Like,
is that behind you on the shelf? Is that your RC that you've been working on?
The blue one?
Yeah.
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 nice.
It looks small there.
No, it's not that small.
Nope.
I
I'm
guess
just in the middle of
perspective is
doing all the
everything.
wiring.
Nice. So you got all your gears and printing and all that done. It's just assembly now.
Yeah, more or less. There's the bottom structure.
Oh, the
Hmm.
chassis.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. That'll be cool once you get that going, hey?
Yeah, it'll be definitely different for sure. I'm in the middle of a new project I'm doing right now. I'm doing a 6-foot battle droid
Oh yeah.
Battle droid, like from Star Wars,
from Star Wars. Yeah.
the guys that go Roger Roger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
6
Like, or
feet
the
Oh.
tall.
rolling one.
How's
6
the
feet tall.
secret giant printer going?
It's going. We've put a few prints on there, test prints on there, but
Yeah.
it is definitely going for sure.
Yeah, it is it. So it's the there's still some tweaks you need to do to the big machine, or
There is a little bit, yeah. Yeah,
No.
there always is when you have a machine that big that you're building.
it's huge.
There's
Like,
always something you'll find.
Dominic, you can stand inside of this machine. That's how big it is. It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's enormous.
Wait till we get the sides on it.
Oh, it's gonna be fully enclosed, is it?
It is, yeah.
Wow. So I take it you're gonna be printing like ABS or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. I want to print my 6-foot droid in it, all in one piece.
That'll be pretty sweet.
Bad, like, on.
You can do
sometimes I
a print
worry
in
about
place suit
support
of
on-
armor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Print in place
a wearable
with
battle
all the
droid.
joints and everything. Break it off. It's pretty interesting. Once they get it done, I'm sure Ray will post a few more things if anyone's interested. Probably on Patreon. If ever anyone wants to see, he put some teasers up there. It's pretty cool the way the bed is done and some of the other stuff. I think
It's
he's using
bigger.
you guys using the Kraken on it, right?
We are, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, so like, it's bigger. It's almost double the height of the Orange Storm Giga. So it's big. It's a big
Yeah,
boy.
it's massive, very custom. Like it's so big, Dominic, they couldn't put it in their regular space because it wouldn't fit through a doorway. So
That's the thing with a lot of, once you get into big equipment, you get to a point where you got to build a house around it.
well, I mean, so like if they did a big print, some of the prints may not fit through the doorway, right, Ray?
Exactly, yeah.
So in order, so they have a huge overhead door, so they had to put it where the print could go out the big overhead door. So it's really cool, like because they do some really specialized stuff there for some of the stuff. So yeah, it's pretty neat to see. Yeah.
I have something to share with the group,
Oh, excellent.
and it's not that I'm an alcoholic. So we were talking a while back, like probably back around the last time we were doing Patreon chats, but we were talking about how safe the K1 and the Bamboo series are network-wise.
Oh yeah, you did
I
some analyses.
How unsafe they are.
Well, safe or
Well,
unsafe.
So
It's a
Yeah.
relative
so,
term.
You know, there's
Yeah.
and there's two. So like with the K series and the Bamboo, actually, there's two safety things, right? Their app is one, right? So you have to sign up for an app and give it a username and password. For some reason, the Creality app seems to need all of your device ID for whatever phone you're using to use it. That was in their permissions. So, like, they get the model, the make, the UUID, and all that stuff. So that's kind of different. A big difference between the two, though, Creality's app is 17 plus, whereas Bamboo Handy is 4 plus for age groups. So there's clearly something going on in the Creality app that requires age of consent and adulthood to use. So put that way. But now on to the fun stuff. So this is a capture from traffic leaving the K1 series, because they haven't done the Bamboo series yet. So this is gonna look like numbers. And I apologize in advance.
It's very little on the screen for most people.
Wait, hold on.
That's better.
Woohoo! So I sanitized some of the stuff because I don't want to give away too much on like my side for information. So there are some columns missing. Um, but this is basically the printer, and you can see nonstop. So I can confirm that nobody is around this printer right now. Like there's nobody using it. There's nothing going on around it. Uh, it's not connected to the Creality app, right? It's just the printer on the Wi-Fi. Okay. Uh, so I don't know if there's any um, security side nerds, but like uh, this is a problem. Um, and the reason it's a problem, before you, I have to scroll right to show more stuff, but like, um, one of the ways that internal devices can compromise your network is using ports that aren't for what they say they are. So, for something to request NTP information every,
And
what is that, like 30 seconds?
I think most people know what that is, but NTP is Network Time Protocol.
Yeah, so it's how your computer knows. Like, if you tell it, I'm in the Eastern Zone, it goes, cool, I'll ping the servers. And sometimes it's Cloudflare. So the first one is actually, or it could be legitimate because that one's a Cloudflare address. Um, but uh, I'm just going to scroll down a little bit here for everybody.
Why does it have to ping every 10 seconds?
Yeah, so like what we're creating here is a bit of a network storm, right? But you can see there is a ton of NTP base, and there are a ton. So the normal procedure for NTP is to pick one server,
Or sometimes two.
and then you'll have like the chatter back and forth between them, maybe once an hour or once every time the machine first boots up, but not like this is 8:47:23, and then a minute later, and
Well,
then less than a minute.
this is a
right?
great way to get your IP banned.
And so that's a good point too. But you can see like there's the odd GitHub in there as well. So what I've worked out is the GitHub calls are the ones where it's looking for the software updates. So those are actually legitimate. But these NTP based ones, let me scroll over here. Boop 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 boop. You can see too that the call is always the same size, which is normal. But like I said, all of them happening all the time. Do. Here's the column I want. So this traffic is going. So we're a Canadian channel, so it's not out of the ordinary for stuff to go to Canada, US. It's weird for Argentina, Switzerland, Australia, Kazakhstan, Germany, uh, Mauritius, Argentina again. So there's quite a few countries that these requests are going
So,
to.
so do you think they tried to, because it's a worldwide product, have the NTP call regional stuff, but then they didn't limit it to the country that you selected?
So in the best case scenario, that is the case. But you can see here, we have a worst case scenario happening.
Uh-oh.
Ba, ba, ba. So just so you know, full disclosure, this log came from a device that's a corporate device that can do deep packet inspection and decide where it's going, what it is, and what it's being used for. So at the base rate, most people, our devices can go, oh, it's NTP traffic because it was going out on port 123, and I know that. But then a deeper analysis of the packet is not good. So you can see that it's used by malware or pervasive use. So we see this when we're talking penetration testing and security in a network, whereas usually this is something that takes a while for an attacker to get a foothold. And then once they have the foothold, then they can actually start moving in the network. And so that's what it's telling here that it could be. Again, I I hope that it's not, but I agree with Greg that I think what happened here, but because I did spot check some of these IP addresses before the stream, I believe some of them are legitimate calls that they just have a big server list. I don't know if you guys remember, but when you set up the printer,
It
the
probably has a
K1,
list of countries and
it
whatnot.
does. It asks you regionality and stuff. So I think what's happening is that you pick a region, but it doesn't matter because it checks all these NTP servers anyway.
The region
And
probably just sets your language, and then it ignores all this,
yeah, and um,
which is silly. You should be able to go in and fix it. Now, this has Clipper, does it not?
yeah. Why is that? I did it again. I'm just gonna switch back. Boom, because I don't need that no more, and then we can switch back to people. So this does run like Creality Print, which is Clipper with
So,
a fluid.
so you
front
should
end.
be able to then go into and look at the configuration files and see where the chatter's happening, right?
So
In
yes
theory.
and no.
In theory, you should be able to look at the files that are in
theory.
the OS and look at where all those servers are configured and maybe pare down the list manually.
You would think so. However, no. And here's the reason why. And this is why we're all waiting for the source code, because Creality said that they're going to open source it and release like the source code for the K series. The reason why I can't see it is because it's actually configured at the OS level, not on the printer Clipper configuration level. So it's before it even gets to Clipper.
Oh, so it's compiled into the kernel,
Yep.
a kernel module
Yeah.
in the Linux kernel.
So there's good news though, and Ray knows the good news. If you click that little rooted button, guess what you get access to? The kernel. Right? So there's a way to check. And let's put it this way. I don't think Creality released a device that's a spy device on your network. I tend to lean towards
Lazy implementation.
lazy implementation, which 100% I could see happening from Creality. But again, like I've been looking a lot at the Creality Cloud app as well. So like I don't know, Ray, do you use the Handy app?
I do not.
Does your wife?
Nope.
Okay. So like that one I actually would trust. The Handy apps for your identity is covered by the GRPD. I always forget the acronym there.
The European
Yeah.
data privacy.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I always forget the name. Yeah, that thing. In Canada, we don't have a specific law that covers it, but we do follow very closely to the United States, which has a similar law. But if there was a 3D printing app to use, I would trust that one. But did you? I guess the other question is on your Bamboo Lab. Do you have it in LAN mode only, or does it still? Do you still like go to the cloud?
Or do you just
No, we
use
don't
SD
go to the
cards?
cloud at all.
How
No,
do
we
you
don't go to the cloud at all.
how do you
SD.
print SD card or
SD, yeah.
right? And lots of people do that. Lots of people do that. But I mean, there's follow-up questions to the is my printer safe, right? And you guys don't have to answer this, but do you have Alexa? Do you have Google Home? Do you have a smartphone? Do you have an iPad? Right? If you have,
They're always listening.
right? If you have any of those things, the printer's the least of your problem, right? I guess it comes down to like I bought a product And I really, really actually like the ecosystem in the Bamboo, like the Handy app and stuff like that. I think they did a wonderful job integrating that portion to their printer. Like my wife's been printing all week, or all weekend, I should say, on the Bamboo. That P1S, yeah,
Yeah.
right. And that's the first time I could say that words ever. Like, cause
Well, she started a few prints on other printers.
Yeah,
She
but
has.
she has a hard time with the slicer, right? So, which is fair. It can be confusing in the slicers, right? But I know what Ray's thinking right now. But Bamboo Lab slicer is easy. So is Orca, and you're right. They're pretty easy, right? It's just for every user experience, right? She's been printing these pen things, and she found them in the Handy app, and was able to just be like, print me 3 of these, go, and then it prints out, right? I know. Who was it? Teaching Tech did a thing where he's like talking about the security of these cloud printers, and basically the end of it was user beware, use at your own risk, right? But like
But
on
that's
race,
use an iPad at your own risk too, or an iPhone or an Android
right?
phone.
And I see,
It's the same thing. You have to accept a certain amount of risk for
Yep.
convenience and whatnot. Like that's a normal
Yeah.
thing. Now you haven't done the analysis yet on
No,
the
Bamboo.
bamboos yet. So
No.
that's something
That-
that you guys can look forward to. A tease for the fall.
or not, because it was really boring and everybody hated it.
Well, I still think it's a good thing to do because we need to, let people know, is it calling home to China, or is it keeping your data regionally? And then once the data is regional,
Yeah.
they could still send it off to China.
Well, and that is the truth. for
it's
sure,
it's
right?
it's like, even if you trust Apple, that's great. They keep as much of the stuff on their device as possible. That's nice. This and that. It's still possible that if some malicious actor wanted to, and they were inside at Apple, they could do whatever they want with your data.
Yeah.
So there's a certain amount of trust you have to have in an organization, and I know a lot of people being that these companies are based in a country with not the same political or ethical alignment as us, let's say. It can be hard to put your trust in a company that says that they're going to do the right thing, but their right thing is based on different values over the years, right? So it makes it
forgot to use
difficult.
air quotes. Would you said other countries to make
No.
it hypothetical?
No, it could be fully factual, right? Because I
It's
mean,
the truth, right?
there's a saying like, China will make you anything you want in any quality you want, but you have to tell them exactly what you want. And if you tell them that this button needs to be red, it'll be red, but it may not be all the other things that you need in that button because you didn't tell them exactly what you needed. You have to be specific. They'll make something as high
Might
quality
be this big.
well, that's the
Right?
thing.
If you
right?
didn't say
Like,
it, make it bigger. It's
They're
like, yep, there
they're
you go.
wonderful at manufacturing, right? So they can manufacture something crappy, or they can manufacture something that's super high end and super precision, like an iPhone, right? Because they have the skill to go the whole gamut. But again, they'll only do what they're tasked to do, right? They're not going to assume anything. And we shouldn't assume anything with them either, right? It's one of those things, like it could go either way. So, but that's also, it can go that either way with Google, or it can go that either way with Oracle, or any of the other big conglomerates out there.
Two words. Ready? 2 words. Microsoft recall. And
Did you hear
all.
that? Did you hear they by default it's off now?
They recalled recall.
So yes. So if anyone doesn't know what Microsoft Recall is, the new ARM-based AI PCs that are coming out have a feature that now is off by default, which if you turn on is called Recall. And what it does is it analyzes absolutely everything that you do on your computer so that you could quickly and easily search it through locally. It's all stored locally on your computer. Now, there were some problems. Originally, the beta version wasn't encrypted. It was encrypted with just like if you have your normal encryption on your hard drive, it was encrypted with that, but now they've encrypted the database. They've also enabled the data. They added a whole bunch of security because everyone was freaking out like you're spying on us. Even though it's locally stored on your device, if someone were to take this database, exfiltrate it off your computer, and at that point, at the original point, it wasn't encrypted. You could then search it and find out everything you've done because it's almost like screenshotting and then taking, it's analyzing it and making tokenizing it so that you can search anything on it.
It's doing a snapshot every few seconds.
Yeah, and then it analyzes it, and so it doesn't save it as a snapshot. It saves it as a AI token. So it learns from what was happening on the screen, so that you can more. So the amount of data it's storing is a little more limited because of the way it analyzes it and tokenizes it like AI does with everything. But yeah, it's off by default, and because it was pretty. But it's one of those things like if it was on by default, right, and you turned it off, then the chances are that you do an update and it would turn it back on, because that's happened before with the Microsoft feature that I don't want, so I'd turn it off, and so now it's off by default. So hopefully, if you trust Microsoft, it'll stay off. But right now it's limited to the ARM-based systems. So that's kind of interesting. So.
And Windows 10 drops off of support in the middle of 2025, which means that they're going to try and push into this. But my favorite thing about it is their selling point strategy. They're selling you on the idea that this new feature is going to allow you to find things that you haven't been able to find. Like, what did I do yesterday? I don't remember. Now you got to search the net to figure out what website you are watching.
Yeah,
well, this
absolutely.
will capture all of that for you. What they don't tell you is, well, odds are if somebody in the State Department says we want all that data, well, we got all that data.
Yeah, well, it is stored locally on your computer, so they would have to take your computer. But
very specific. To his comment about if the government wants it, they'll take it. North Korea did this already. People's phones were not working anymore, and they would take them to the repair shops, and then they're like, "Oh, it's full of photos that are sending to the government. Sorry."
Yeah.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. But Happy Place says that they're feel a little bit better now that it's off by default. But again, you have to spend a whole bunch of money on this ARM-based Windows PC to get this feature right now. It's not available on x86 Windows PCs yet. Mm-hmm. It will be in the future, probably once they work out all the bugs, and they have you need a neural processing unit on the computer, and once they either have add-ins.
10% of your hard drive, I think it is.
It's 25 gig.
Yeah, so
it's a statically set 25 gig.
It's good because most computers come with no memory now, because that's a thing. So,
Yeah. But if you have an extra, $1,800 to buy one of these AI PCs, I mean that's an expensive PC, right?
you've
Like
seen, man,
nowadays.
Yeah.
like, do you really want like Hal living in
And
your
and
house?
it's ARM based,
Yeah.
so we're in the early stages, right? Because I get Apple's all ARM based now with all their new models and whatnot, and they're running their Apple Silicon and everything, and the performance is decent. But they also knew that they were going that way, and they slowly, in the background, worked on it to make it fully compatible. Whereas right now, we had the ARM based Windows with Windows 8.1, and it wasn't great. They came out a couple of other versions, and it just wasn't great. We're finally at the point where the processors are powerful enough to handle the emulation needed, but the libraries and compatibility for backwards, if you have some weird old Windows thing, it's probably not going to be great.
No.
But
Hey Ray, did you replace the handles on your K series? They look
I
very
did, yeah.
very colorful.
Yeah, I
I
have a
like
yellow one and a blue one. That's how I determine all my printers are by colors.
Oh, so then when you can like look at like the web pages like that theme
Yeah,
too or whatever? Yeah, I guess
yeah,
it's a good idea.
I colorize mine too. Like this one's blue, that one's yellow, this one's red, so that when I go on and I've got Clipper up or whatever, and I know which one I'm dealing with right away.
Does that I can see like a gasket maybe cover on the screen too? Like
Or
like
is there's a colored bead along the top of the screen.
yeah, is
here
that like to block the air in better or
it is. Yeah,
oh okay. Oh
Oh,
cool. You
kind of
you
hard
did
to
a
see. It's
little
yellow. Yeah,
yeah. So there's a gasket on the top of it and
yeah,
yeah. And does it obviously I would imagine like it butts right up against the door there.
it does. Yeah, as soon as I
Does yeah, it's a good idea.
Nice.
I I printed because I was doing PLA, I printed like the lid riser things for mine,
yeah.
which it did okay. Like the door open, I think the temperature was like 28 degrees and the lid riser was 30 in the chamber, so like it helped a bit. But are you running ABS more on yours than PLA or
The K1 I usually run PLA or PETG. The Max I can run whatever.
hmm.
It depends
and
on what I'm doing.
and you were telling me only one of them is rooted, right?
Yes, only the K1 is rooted. The
Yeah.
Max seems to print just great the way it is, so I've never done anything to it.
Honestly, I think I said it, but like I rooted my K1C, but like just so that I could add it to like my app without having to be on the Creality cloud. So
Yeah,
like I get light, I get all the telemetry and stuff from the app now because of Clipper. But other than that, I haven't like changed any of the printer configure, macros or anything like that.
Yeah.
Although I did, because Ray told me, he said, you'll like camp. So I enabled camp.
yeah,
So
works well, doesn't it?
what
Yeah.
is camp? Explain for everyone else that
well, it's-
isn't familiar.
Camp with a K to start with. So that'll help that confusion. But it just mesh levels like where your object is instead of like the whole thing.
Oh, okay. So it's fine
That's
fine mesh bed leveling for the object that you're printing, not the entire surface.
Yeah. I
Right.
mean, that's a gross simplification.
So if you
But
have your mesh bed set up at a 5x5, for instance, for the whole bed, it'll do a 5x5 in the area where your print is.
Nice.
yeah.
That's actually that depending on how wacky your bed is, that could be a huge improvement for some beds.
Well,
Yeah.
imagine you have like a dip right in the middle, but right beside where the
You
probe
mean
would have hit.
Like on
Right?
like on an Ender 3?
There was never
That never
ever-
happened.
No, they're perfect every time. Every time, man.
Yeah,
What
the
are we
little
talking about?
1/8 inch aluminum plate doesn't warp at all.
Nope, never had that happen. Just thinking back to it, yeah, and mine are perfectly level.
Yeah, we never had to put glass or mirrors or anything on top of the plate to like have a slightly more level surface.
One of my friends has a printer that when he auto levels his bed, it always is like a sinusoidal wave almost with how wormy it is. I'm like, uh-oh. But yeah, no, camp is great. It's interesting because one thing I noticed actually in routing my K1 is fluid runs faster than mainsail.
Yes.
Yep.
So like I'm not sure if that's just an in general statement or if it's because the Creality print is optimized for fluid already, so it has an easier time running it.
Interesting. So that's on like if you blow both of them up, one just seems quicker than the other.
Yeah.
See,
like,
I only use all of mine have mainsail on them.
so like I don't know, like have you played with that, Ray? Like with both on the like
No.
the fluid. So like yeah, like fluid seems like when you go to the fluid link, it's like a second and it's there. But when mainsail loads, it goes to the initialization thing, and then you wait maybe 30 seconds sometimes, and then it loads. And again, that could just be because there's more optimization in the web side of fluid in general, or
Well, because Creality did take fluid and basically Crealitized it, right?
crealize it.
Sure.
Creala? Creali do eyes?
It's gotta
Is that
be
it? Yeah, that's the word. But I will say, like, routing it just to get the web page to work is awesome because then you don't have to worry about is the Creality cloud safe or not, because then you don't have to use it.
So should we do another thing, David?
Yeah, we'll do the thing. I'm pushing the button right now.
Okay. Well, thanks again to all these people. 2 of them are on the stream. Ray and Dominic, thanks for joining us today. And everyone else on this list, Hilch at the top. These are our Patreons that support us at patreon.com/3dmakeit. And if you want to join us, you can go there. All the details are there. For everyone else, if you want information, you can always go to www.3dmakeit.ca for all other info on stuff coming up and things we're doing. So,
And to get your very own slap chop or ShamWow. Spoiler alert, the slap chop will be out of ABS and very poisonous to use.
It's currently unavailable.
Yeah, so it's out of stock, yeah.
Yeah.
We're working on it. The guys are just really slow at bringing the truck down, right? Now, before the stream, Dominic mentioned, I think it's worth a note, but I forget who you said it was now, but somebody was finishing a build maybe today on there.
Steve Builds and Nero are working together. Both they're each building a positron, and they're about halfway through. So today will be the hopefully finishing of the.
Yeah, it looks like they're starting.
They're starting at noon central.
Yeah. Actually,
right
they start
after this.
right after this, yeah.
As soon as we finish up, yeah.
Do you want to bring
what's
up a
that
picture of what this positron is, so that maybe
Yeah, okay.
can have an idea? Because
So it's the LDO printer. Let me see if I can find a good picture of it. Was that Nero 3D like the Canadian Nero?
Yeah,
Or the...
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Uh,
Just 1 second. Let's see if we can kits. It's got to be able to find a picture here. Screen. Hello, images. Okay, got it. Don't worry, guys. I am faster than the wind. Except now I can't find my button. Yes.
The new version is neat. They got rid of the synchro mesh cables and switched to a 1/4 inch belts. So that's interesting.
It
Oh,
is.
this is that little guy.
This is the little one that fits inside of a spool
The-
box
Oh,
Yeah.
It
okay.
prints upside down.
and upside down. So, like, I've honestly looked at these and they intrigue me. Like, but I've learned that if I get intrigued by something, I can't buy it because everything intrigues me eventually. You know.
Well, what's
And then,
funny is they sell it. One of the selling points is that it fits in a spool box, but they give you a case, and the case is substantially larger. It fits in.
yeah.
And
Well,
which version are they building?
They're building the new one with the 1/4 inch belts instead of the synchro mesh.
So is that the 3.2 or?
I think so.
Kits. Let's see. Hey, Ray, I don't see my favorite Canadian store on here. Okay.
Perfect.
You're like, great. That's the way it should be. Yeah, so $700 gets you the kit.
Yeah.
What's the one thing I don't know about is build volume. It looks like 250 maybe cubed.
It's pretty small.
200, 280, 180. But anyway, that's something that's happening for these guys today. So if you're interested, oh yeah, there's the case. Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Nope, that's the
Yeah,
wrong
when
button.
they ship it, it comes shipped in the case. So, it's not like a huge box or anything.
No.
It's basically the case.
So it's a kit in the case, and you still have to assemble it, or is it already assembled in the case?
No, you do have to assemble it. You also have to print parts. So it's almost like a Voron.
And
yeah,
I
you gotta
assume
print
I
parts.
assume it's not a heated bed.
It is.
It is
It
a
is?
heated
I
bed.
thought-
It is a heated bed, yes.
Okay, well, just from the picture, so it must be heated with wires like kind of a rear,
It's
the rear
Exactly.
window on your car kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the only. I would think if there is a downside other than any other things you can think of, but the one thing is if you use PETG and smash it too much and it breaks your bed surface, you got to buy.
Right. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not like you can just. And we know that never happens either.
I would think that that this seems like it'd be more of a PLA printer.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't know how you would enclose it.
Yeah. No, but I'm just
I've-
thinking,
But yeah,
even
the-
PETG, like I don't know if you'd want to.
Is it
risk-
worth
risk
the
it.
risk? Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm like enclosing
it
it is just a
it
garbage
definitely
bag.
looks
That's,
cool. I do that with the belts and gears, and like it reminds me of kind of like what the Swiss watches where you can see the mechanics on the inside, with the gears and everything. That's kind of the look. It's very precision. So it's cool.
There's a couple of things I want to see addressed when someone else in a review, and considering if you think about it, you're printing upside down. Well, that means that you're probably going to have less blobs from oozing, but if it oozes, it's going to ooze onto the nozzle.
It's true.
Hmm.
And so.
But
that an
oozing is
issue?
a factor
I
of
don't know.
gravity, right? Like because
Yeah.
the oozing happens because of like just
Well, and pressure, gravity and pressure.
yeah, but like if you just turn it on and melting, it wants to fall. Yeah, it's a good question. If it would actually like, if you could just turn it on and then no ooze happens.
And it looks like with the way the rails are set up, it looks like it's fairly, it would be fairly the tolerances should be fairly tight with the on it.
Yeah, they've
too,
actually
which-
improved it. The new version, for the bed, they narrowed the joints so that this way, when you assemble it, you don't have to tune it.
Nice.
It will go right back into place. So that's supposed to be good. I don't know.
Hey Scott, how you doing?
We're gonna start a trend here, guys. Everybody's just gonna have to turn their printers upside down now, please.
Yeah.
Well, what there was a guy that every year at either it's Murph or Remurph or any of the ones, he's got the backpack printer.
Yeah, here's that.
And he walks around and he's printing on his back, right?
There are several guys that do that now.
Yeah.
That I've
so,
noticed in the last.
and then you look at the belt printers. Some people put them on the wall, so when the print comes to the end, it drops off into a bucket, right?
Yeah.
Well, and I think I want to say it was Angus at Maker's Muse. He hung an A5 Mini or an an A5 Mini from his roof off of a rope. And then hit.
And I think he also used bungee cords because it was slinging
it was
around.
swinging and and it was fine. I mean, and it goes to show like that when people on 3D printing firms tell you that it's more important to have like the frame trammed to itself and all that, it's literally like the printer is the unit and it has to be aligned with itself, and if it is,
You'll
can
get
print
great
upside
prints.
down, backwards, whatever you want.
The stability of the surface you put the printer on doesn't matter.
Yep.
To a point.
Yeah,
Like
I know.
if you're on a
it's gotta mean something.
super rickety table and whatnot, that's
Hey.
that's
No,
but
right here.
but like you got everything aligned right, and then all of a sudden your table's like going like this. It's changing the frequency of the everything going back into the printer, so you're going to have potential artifacts. Maybe it'll still print fine, but the surface could have artifacts in it in relation to the movement of the table. But a standard table with the standard, firmness and whatnot, I mean, especially with all the new compensation we have with the with compensating for frequency and everything of the printer, it's so minimized nowadays that it's not as an issue like it was when we had a imprecise machine, shall we say, even 4 or 5 years ago.
Totally.
That brings up a question that I've had about flying gantry printers. That's the idea that you tune your printer for resonances, but if your XY gantry is moving up, that's going to change the way resonance affects the printer.
Because the higher up it goes, the more the frequency will change.
But I think you're not. It's not as much because you're tuning for the mass of the print head that's moving on the flying gantry at that point, right? It's less probably about the rest of it. You're still moving the gantry up, right? But your mass is that print head that you're compensating for.
Yeah, but as the print head moves up, so take a weight, hang it from a piece of string or a plumbing level, right, and swing it.
But
then change the length of that string, and the smaller it gets, the faster it's going to go.
But
it changes the center of balance of the printer.
Yeah.
It does, and I
agree.
Could see that. I could see a full-on hang printer being like that, but something like a Voron, even though you have the gantry going up, you're still locked into guides going up.
You are, but think of it as like a top-heavy SUV that rolls, right? The farther up that gantry goes, the more it can play. I agree. It's going to be at a minimal.
Not when it's tied in and your rails go from the top to the bottom.
So
still.
if you were to take that at the bottom, like in Dominic's example, right? Like we take the flying gantry, it's at its lowest point, replace the hot end, put like a 30-pound weight on where the hot end is, and fling it against the printer. The whole printer will move sideways, right? But if it gets to the top and you fling that 30,
yeah, you will have some
you'll
torque.
tip it over.
Yeah, you will have
Right?
some physics with leverage action and whatnot. But
It's an interesting question, Dominic. Like, look how
I
much...
don't know, because you're only moving it up. Let's say, 300 millimeters max on some of the big ones. I don't know that it's going to be the mass of the print head relative to the physics of leverage, right?
Well,
as you're moving up,
It's
I don't know
force
that
and-
it'll have enough of an impact to affect the print.
This reminds me of
consider-
It's interesting.
Consider if
I
you
could
were-
I could see on the giant printer that you guys have at Spool. When you're moving up like 8 feet and you're at the top stringing something around, like
the difference
that-
may be
that could
academic,
be.
but I think Dominic is on the path there. I think
Yep.
like on a 300 millimeter build volume cube, yeah, the force is academic, but it's still going to change.
Yeah, but
as
it's
you
probably
go up.
minute. But
Well,
when
well,
it's
not that minute though, because if you consider grab the vertical support of one of your printer and try shaking it from the bottom, then shake it from the top.
It's true. It's
gonna
very
make a
true.
considerable
It's like
difference.
yeah,
Here's what we're gonna do, okay? I'm gonna go find myself some linear rail and a bearing at a 30-pound weight.
but
And we'll build a...
but you got to realize your print head's not 30 pounds.
Well, no, but like I'm saying, exaggerate the difference, right?
Yeah, well, if you exaggerate it, you're gonna get it, but you got to.
Well, no, the forces don't change. It's just they're less.
Oh yeah, you'll see them more for sure with the 30-pound weight. There's no doubt.
Dominic
Well,
with the head
if you
scratcher,
put
I
the
tell
right-
you.
If you put the right extruder and motor on your print head, it could.
Yeah.
be
Well,
significant.
and the thing is like the input shaping is there to help with it, and yeah, like if you're printing a benchy, whatever, right? Like
Because you're
what is
going
it?
up this far.
Yeah, but like we've seen this before. We've printed like tall vases in vase mode, and as you get to the top, something happens and it can wobble a bit
Yep.
up there.
Yeah, I can.
That's it. We're coming up with a way to do this science at home.
Well,
Science.
we are at the top of the hour, and we're cutting into people's going over and watching the other was it the positron?
Yeah.
Build.
Positron, yeah. Steve's live. It looks like now. So
So
if
So
you want to
I-
ship on over and do that, guys.
So
we'll-
thanks a lot, everyone, for coming. And I'm sure Ray will talk in the summer, and Dominic will chat on online
Discord.
and whatnot on Discord. And everyone else, thanks for coming. And we will probably sporadically be doing stuff throughout the summer, but officially September is kind of when we start back to kind of probably mid-September is our regular streams on Sundays.
after
So,
camping season's over.
yeah. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Great show. Thanks, guys.
See you guys. See you, Ray. Dominic, thanks for coming.